Hi, I'm Haylley Pittam, and today with me I have Richard Gormley from France. Welcome. Lovely to have you today.
Thanks, Haylley. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yeah, so with the fact that you are still in lockdown and I'm still in lockdown, it is lovely to be able to have this conversation to chat about how your aqua journey has come to this point. But I know that you're still working very much with virtual stuff and teaching, right?
I am, yes.
And how many Zumba classes have you been teaching?
So when everything kind of shut down almost a year ago, Zumba was really proactive and they immediately put everything online. So I started shifting, all my Zumba trainings to online. And then we realized, okay, well, we're also going to be in this situation for a while. So we're going to have to shift Aqua to online as well, despite not having access to a pool for most people and despite being limited in terms of our space. So yeah, we started right away about a year ago, and I've maintained all my trainings and classes. And yeah, about once a week, I move everything aside and make my imaginary pool deck in my living room. So it's been a wild ride.
You are so good at your Aqua Zumba though, and you can see how you've come with the land stuff and the water side, combining the two and teaching both elements. Just wish that obviously we could get into the pool sooner.
Thank you.
And Zumba calls you the blue team because you're all water-based, is that right?
Yeah, so the blue team is sort of, because in Zumba, we always have to specify if we're talking about land Zumba or Aqua Zumba, especially these days that we're in and out of the pool. Yeah, blue team, our logo is blue. So we've just naturally just kind of gravitated. It's not like official Zumba lingo. It's just sort of instructors that have come together and said, hey, we're doing something specialized and special. So, we're still Zumba instructors, but now we're part of the blue team side of Zumba. So blue being water and yeah, Aqua Zumba blue team.
That's fantastic. And when it comes to the team, you've got Caroline in the UK, there's you in France, you say the rest because I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, so we've got I think 16 trainers worldwide.
Oh, wow.
We have 8 different languages. So obviously I have a hard time doing trainings in Russian or Portuguese, but I try. So we have trainers all over the world. I actually, I'm living in France, but we have a European team in France. And my territory, the area I cover, is still Eastern USA. So yesterday I did a training in Boston. So I start in the middle of the afternoon for me and we finish at midnight, but I'm still doing the trainings for East Coast USA since Europe's kind of covered with Europe's different because we have different language. Every 500 kilometers, the language changes. So it's a pretty interesting market. So yeah, we have Caroline who does most of the European trainings in English. But Caroline just had another baby, so I've been covering a little bit of England and UK and Europe as well, which is fun because in English, a lot of people who speak Polish or other languages, they gravitate to those too, just because of the time zone. So.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Sorry. Say that last bit again. It froze.
With virtual, it's really opened the market.
Yes.
And we have a
completely.
variety of places.
Yeah. So I met you back in 2009 in Orlando, and I actually met you through my sister. My sister was at the convention, at the IAFC convention, and she introduced me to you. And were you there, if I remember correctly, with your mum? Is your mum an aqua teacher?
My mom is, yeah, we got into aqua fitness together. And my mom was living in Florida, I was living in Canada, and she was going to this convention every year. And I started seeing pictures and I was like, what's going on there? So we actually attended together in 2009 as crew, and your sister Sinead was crew as well. And also I think your mom was presenting. So
yeah. I mean, we were all there. There's three of us, and the middle sister didn't come, but there was my mum, me, and her, and we were there crew, and we were there, you know, attending, and it was a great time, absolutely awesome time. But that was also when Aqua Zumba was launched, right?
exactly, yeah. I actually remember being with Sinead, like handing out noodles, and we had to announce on the microphone, and we were like, yeah, it's Zumba Aqua, and everyone was like, no, it's Aqua Zumba. And we're like, oh. So yeah, we were kind of like aqua people, all kind of looking on, seeing what was going on. Oh, this looks different. And I remember like looking from the outside in, like, oh, those Zumba people with their Zumba pants and going to eat their Zumba lunches. It was like Aqua and then Zumba, so it was kind of like two separate things, even though it was all the same convention.
Yeah, because they had literally just started, and my memory is that Mimi had got involved with them. Mimi Rodriguez, she had got involved with them, and she had helped them to bring the land to the water, to understand the water. And she was on there with, was it Maria that was on the, yeah. And then I remember her having two guys with her. They were very
There was Tony Witt, who's the ballroom, who was the one who got everyone dancing at the wedding party, the after party. And then actually that year, Beto was there. Beto is the creator of Zumba, was presenting with Mimi and Maria and Tony. So
yeah, I do remember that one. And it was one of those things as well where it was energetic and lively and bringing a lot of people to the water, which it does, because Aqua Zumba definitely brings people to the pool. It's that pool party that they say. And when it was happening at that particular convention, it was fresh and new and something different.
Definitely. And I remember we finally got to take a class because, you know, with the convention, if you're working on it, then you're not priority to be in the water.
Yeah.
And I remember when we finally got to get in the water, we were like, yeah, this is so cool, so different, so fun and dancey and amazing. And I remember kind of having like, you know, being in the back and looking in, also being like, this is so fun. And, you know, like the sun is out, there's palm trees, wind's glowing, these bright Zumba colors. Had his shirt like tucked behind his neck, and we saw his abs.
Like I said, the rippling abs. The rippling abs is something that I remember.
Yeah, like, wow, this is so different and so new. I think after we kind of had a moment too, where we were like, wait a second, this was cool at a convention, but if I take this concept to my community center on a Tuesday morning in Northern Canada, is it going to have the same effect? So I think I was really skeptical too of like, okay, cool, the dancing and the Latin music and the international rhythms are fun,
yeah.
But how are we going to bring this to the rest of the world?
Yeah. And how did you change? Did you make any modifications, or did you see how it could then work differently for your Tuesday morning aqua classes? Could you see anything that you could tweak?
Yeah, so actually Zumba did a really good job, and, you know, props to A.E.A, who really got on board, because I think they said, wow, this is different, this is new, this is spicy, this has potential, but let us show you some rules. Like, let us tell you how the water works.
Yeah.
And I think we were lucky to be taken under the wing early on by such a good organization. So I actually didn't license in Aqua Zumba until 1 year later, in 2010. And by the time I got licensed, the time they launched it at IAFC 2009, they had already done a lot of that work. It was already a lot more aquafied. I actually found it was almost too aquafied.
Oh, really?
Because like at Zumba, at the convention in 2009, when we were at the Aqua Fitness convention, it was kind of a soft launch, a pre-launch. And they were just like dancing the cumbia. They were like shaking their booty. I think our arms were out of the water like 90% of the
Yeah,
choreos, 90%
yeah.
of the time. So it was very dance, and that's what made it so different. By the time I saw it like a year later, I was like, okay, now we're doing cumbia, but it's a rocking horse. Okay, now we're doing reggaeton, but it's cross-country skis. Okay, now we're doing like a samba and we're doing jumps and tucks and we're really using the water as a tool. But I was like, but that's already what we do in aqua fitness. So like, what happened to the party? What happened to the dance? So I was a little disappointed because I was like, are you telling me I just, took all these trainings and became, Zumba licensed and flew to Orlando again to take this training, and we're doing what we already do in aqua fitness? We just changed the playlist.
Okay, yeah.
So like they almost went too far into the aqua side. And then I was really lucky because they took me on as a trainer. So I got to be kind of part of that early development in 2011. And that's when we were like getting stuck. Like we launched, it went, everything was sold out and it was taking off. And then it kind of just started going down. And we were like, well, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
Because we're making our instructors into aqua people. And the world needs more aqua people, and the aqua industry needs more aqua people, but these Zumba people weren't necessarily a good fit for the aqua, pure aqua fitness world.
Yeah.
So it was like, we weren't really dance and we weren't really aqua fitness. So we're like, well, where are we? If we're not fitting in the dance world because it's too fitnessy, and we're not fitting in the aqua world because it's too dancey, like, where do we fall? What do we do? And then we started looking at what's happening in Europe. So we actually flew as a team to Portugal.
Oh, wow.
And we trained Joao, Ricardo. And we did a whole with them. And we were watching like, okay, what do they do and how do they do it? And then how can we take elements from what's happening in Europe and not be stuck in our box of aqua, like a jumping jack and a cross ski and a kick, but how can we use these dance moves and how can we use choreography, but still elements of aqua and make it appropriate for the aquatic environment, but still feel like a dance fitness party? And that's sort of when we made the shift. And we realized, okay, we're not going to be pure aqua, and we're never going to really fit into that aqua box. That's okay, right? And at the same time, we're not really dance, because if we're going to dance, we might as well just do Zumba next to the pool. So we still got to bring in a little bit of dance. We got to bring in a little bit of aqua. But maybe we're not dance, maybe we're not aqua. We're kind of a fusion. We're kind of a hybrid. And it took us a few years. It took Zumba a few years, I think, to find that balance and to find that voice, and to be okay with breaking some of the rules from aqua and also getting a little bit outside of that dance Zumba comfort zone to make something new and make something fresh and make something that's not like any other class on the time schedule. So I think that that's where we kind of were able to rebound and come back up, because we weren't trying to mimic what we saw at an aqua convention, and we were letting go of what it is to be a true pure dance fitness program. So we kind of, we're a little bit of both, and we were able to find that balance and make this hybrid fusion program.
I'm really fascinated by that, because when it first came out, I remember a discussion that happened about how though it was water, it wasn't water. And I remember a discussion about how there was an element of the science behind it, or the kind of creation of those workouts, where the people who were true aqua people couldn't quite get their head around it, because it wasn't the sciencey factors that they were used to using. And then I also remember the fact of how it brought a different population to the pool, and how there was this different instructor as well that was coming to the pool. So they weren't teaching as what we would classify as a regular aqua teacher. They were very much a different hybrid part. So it completely makes sense.
Totally. And I think too, like, when we think about land fitness and we look at timetable, we have, you know, Zumba, we have maybe cross training, we have boot, we have yoga, and all of those formats are different formats. And if I'm showing up to one of those classes on the schedule, I'm going to get a very different experience based on what I sign up, what I'm showing up for. And if you switch one of those on me, if I do Zumba and now boot camp, that's going to be weird and that's going to be crazy. And that's not what I set for. And that's not what I showed up for. So I'm going to be a little resistant to it.
Yeah.
But then when we talk about Aqua, it seems like a lot of the times in Aqua, we just kind of say like, oh, those Aqua classes, it's Aqua something. It's maybe Aqua Fits or Aqua Fitness or Aqua Zumba Fit something. There's not that specific differentiation in the US market. And what Aqua Zumba did is, you know, it had that Aqua Fitness on Tuesday, Thursday morning, but then they were able to add a new format, add a new brand, which was kind of new in the marketing and the fitness industry, the aqua fitness industry in the US, add a new format, Zumba, which had a different set of expectations, which had a different set of choreography, which had a different, and people could make that differentiation, which then kind of paved the way to say, well, actually, all fitness classes aren't the same. Like if we do it in the shallow end, it's different than if we do it in the deep end. And let's call, instead of calling everything Aqua Fit and Aqua Zumba, let's call it, you know, Aqua Fusion, Aqua Dance, Aqua Deep, Aqua Shallow, Aqua Pole, Aqua Bike, Aqua, whatever you want. So.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? My husband makes a comment about how our classes are titled, and it's always their Aqua and then something else follows it. Whereas in the land class, you don't have land Zumba, it's just called Zumba. But when we look at our timetables, they are just, it just says Aqua, Aqua, Aqua. And it, you know, there's been a discussion actually that's been coming up over and over and over with these interviews, is a lot of people do talk about the fact of the title of the class and how they are perceived. And Aqua Zumba has been able to break that a little bit. Like it has been able to stand on its own 2 feet. It's been able to create its own style, sit in the timetable without it interfering with the others because it's a different style. And it does bring in a whole different group of people to the pool. That pool party element definitely brings in a younger variety as well. I do remember a bunch of 14-year-olds jumping into an Aqua Zumba class.
Yeah, so I think also we are bringing in a new community to the pool. And hopefully that's the client's mind too, like, oh, I really enjoyed this Aqua Zumba class. Hey, what's this class coming on after it? And then they're exploring, you know, not staying in that Zumba bubble, but they're also exploring and taking advantage of the other formats that happen in the pool.
Yeah. So what were you doing before you became an aqua teacher?
Yeah. I didn't really do anything.
Well, you were young.
Yeah, so I just started fresh. I was teaching through high school, Aqua Fitness, and then I went on to study in university kinesiology. So I did my Bachelor of Science in human movements and yeah, that sort of thing. And a lot of my colleagues or my students who I studied with, they were all doing it with the intention to do physio or you know, therapy, chiropractor, osteo stuff after. And I always knew that I was going to be doing what I loved and that I didn't want to go work in an office. I wanted to help people, maybe in a therapeutic way, but more so in a well-being way where, you know, they can feel good and feel connected to something. So I think I didn't have a job before this other than like lifeguarding and teaching swimming. And yeah, just teaching more classes, getting more and more deeper into fitness, and then eventually presenting and traveling with it. So
fantastic, because that does go very smoothly one into the other, which is, you know, fantastic to have that background of your degree, but also the fact that, you know, teaching swimming, lifeguarding, that's where I came from. You know, being a swimmer, coming through and doing the qualifications as I worked, and then as I worked, I could then progress myself as well as progressing within my career. So that's fantastic. So going back into your land side, you're still teaching Aqua Zumba, but you're also doing yoga as well, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
Do you
I always
go on?
I always practice yoga for myself because especially teaching aqua fitness, we're constantly rebounding on a cement or tile floor.
Yeah.
We're always moving. And so just to go between the classes and to counteract what I was doing in at the pool and on the pool deck, I've always had a yoga practice to balance that out for my body and for, you know, the mental and soul part of it too.
Yeah.
When I moved to France, yoga is so new here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no one teaching it, no one exploring with it. And anytime we have there's a workshop or some kind of tension, it's always Americans coming over and presenting it. So
Wow.
I realized if I wanted, I have to kind of bring it myself. And yeah, in our little community of friends, we've trained and we did the yoga teacher trainings, and yeah, it's taking because no one's really made a business out of it yet. It's definitely catching on, and even if you look at cities like Paris, 5 years ago had a couple yoga studios. And now they've got a lot more, and it's growing and developing. But a lot of the presence is Australian, international, UK, American. It's slow to catch on them, and they've still got the mentality of, you know, that yoga is like the emoji, sitting cross-legged and meditating for a whole hour, where it can still be a great part of it. You know, you can use the asanas, postures to stretch and feel good and heal and mobilize your body through mindful exercise. So
That's amazing. I can't believe that it's fairly new there. What I was going to say is, would you ever then transfer that to the pool? Because obviously aqua yoga is well, very popular in the States, but it is popular when it gets going. Would you ever consider doing aqua yoga?
I would love to get a training in aqua yoga, or I've even played around with my own, you know, ideas of what it would be for me. I'm Canadian, so for me, as soon as I get in the water, I need to move, because even if the water's, you know, 30 degrees, it's so it's cold, because when we get out, we're going to be cold. So you know, for me, as soon as I'm in the water, to stay still is not really a thing, but to bring in that mindful element and to incorporate the mobility of it, I would love to learn more. I would love to take trainings. I love following like Tinoka Senra, the stuff she's doing with yoga. And yeah, just some of the, I just follow the hashtag on Instagram, and it looks like there's a lot coming out with it. So yeah, whatever I'm signing up. It looks great.
Yeah, there's a couple of ladies that like we've networked with, and one of them we interviewed at the very beginning because she was doing a aqua yoga course in the UK for us, but it ends up being online because of the COVID situation. And her name's Camilla, and she does some of the certifications, and she's changing some of hers to be online. But with the aqua yoga, one of the things is you need a warm pool for that, and obviously the setting of being in Florida with the sunshine and the beautiful shiny sea surrounding you, or the glistening water that's a warm pool, is far more inviting than obviously some of the English pools.
February.
How many classes do you teach a week? Like just in general, land, fit, and as well as your own, and how many do you teach?
So this is my first year actually teaching normal classes in France. because normally I was still working a lot on the East Coast of the US. So I was doing kind of 2 weeks in the US, come back to France to be with my son and family for 2 weeks,
Wow.
and weeks to Asia. So I didn't have my own regular classes until this year, and that only lasted a month. So, so I
That's
don't have so many
incredible.
classes.
So
What's that?
you were traveling that amount. You were doing 2 weeks away and then 2 weeks and in France with your family.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was trying to go US, Europe, Asia, Europe, US, Europe, Asia. So I kept the rhythm um, just till now. Yeah. So.
You must have clocked up some extra mileage on your air miles. So, so with the fact that you were traveling so much and doing all of that and not able to actually have those regular classes, even just the traveling side of things and going all over, that takes a toll on the body. And what do you do to look after yourself apart from the yoga, which we've just discussed?
Yeah, so definitely having that mind body elements, the yoga, the soft, and also swimming. I love swimming, like just getting in the pool, swimming laps after a long flight. You know, you can be jet lagged or whatever. Something about the water, and I love swimming for the workout, but I also love like the streamline and the stretching out, and for me to like have my head underwater, not hear anything, not be looking at a
Yeah.
screen. It's therapy. I love the healing aspect of swimming and of the water. So that's like, as soon as luckily whenever I'm traveling, usually I'm traveling to present at a pool.
Yeah.
So I would like to land, check out the pool, and then recover and get ready for the training the next day.
You completely speak poetically in that sense that I love the moment you enter the water and the world can just disappear. It's like everything goes quiet and all you can hear is the mumbles of the water and everything else can just vanish. And that's the bit that I love as well.
Yeah. April 16th, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to get back into the pool. Absolutely. So what in your career through obviously Aqua Zumba and teaching Aqua as well, what has been one of the biggest challenges for you? Have you found that there's been anything that's given you a bit of a push, or you've got to try and get over something?
I think when we talk about like a Zumba related, Zumba is the party, is the fun, is the, that animator kind of side of fitness.
Yeah.
So I love that and I totally identify with that. But when I go and present in a convention or I'm talking to a fitness-minded person,
Yeah.
not a dancer, not a party person, a lot of times they see Zumba as only being that fun or only being that party. But with Zumba, we do strive to, educate ourselves and educate our instructors to be a true fitness program, that follows the science and the physiology of the body. So I think, not having to prove that, but one of the challenges is to bring that element of science and physiology and anatomy into what we do,
Yeah.
and showing our instructors and showing Zumba instructors that yes, it is a party and a workout, but also we follow the rules and the safety and those benefits of the fitness industry in general. So I think having to to explain that and to prove that in the fitness industry, it is a little bit of a challenge.
Mm.
But a lot of the times, like someone like you and your family, even you see that it can be a serious fitness program, and not serious in the way that we're going to sit down and talk about it, but like just like how a regular aqua fitness class or a prenatal class, yeah, there's a lot of science and theory to it, but it can also be really fun and ludic and, have that animation and that connection and that social part of it. So I think, it's been a challenge, but it's also been transformative to the rest of aqua fitness.
Have you seen a difference within the industry as you've gone through it? Have you seen anything that's been a big change?
I think the biggest shift, I don't know if it's personal or if it's with the industry, but I think when I started, a lot of it was us and them, or Zumba and the rest of the world. But I think a lot of people feel that way, or, you know, everyone who identifies with a brand or a program might feel like, okay, we have our world and then we have the real world, when really we're all doing the same thing. Like, really, we want people to be happier, healthier, more, have their function for longer in their life. We want them to have a good time, and we want them to come back cool.
Yes,
Or come back.
yes, I love that.
That's what we have, right? Like, we're all doing the same thing, and instead of thinking like us, them, inside, outside, we're all in the same community.
Well, we all love the water. We all love being around and in and showing people what we can do. So definitely, I love that. Yes. What do you notice is a difference between, obviously, if you have been going from one country to another, what do you notice is the difference between the countries? What do you see from an instructor looking in?
Yeah, so I've been really lucky. I've gotten to introduce Aqua Zumba in 56 different countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so all of the US, in a lot of Europe, we have a really developed fitness industry, and aqua fitness is generally developing, you know, just behind the fitness industry. When I go to newer markets, like especially in Asia, the fitness industry is still relatively new. It's relatively like a new thing to be a full-time fitness instructor in a lot of these places, or it's rare to be, you know, in fitness as a career.
Yeah.
So I think that's shifted definitely in the last 5 years. And then in aqua, being able to bring, you know, a new format to those developing markets and developing countries has been interesting, because they don't have even aqua fitness yet. So for a lot of these new markets, like, they don't have aqua fitness or equipment or any other certifications or training, and Zumba is the first thing that they've experienced in the water. So it's been an interesting shift, because it's, for them, like, they start with Aqua Zumba, and then everything that they train in online, or they're bringing over presenters, and they're developing certifications of their own, but it's all kind of comparing to Aqua Zumba,
Right.
which is cool. Which is based, all of our science, it comes from AEA, Aquatic Exercise Association.
Oh.
All of our stuff is credited to, you know, the global kind of AEA communities. So
fantastic. We had an interview with someone from India the other day, and they were saying about how Aqua Aerobics is really new in India. And I think she said that she went and did her qualifications in Singapore. So if you're saying that Asia is then not used to having fitness, and they're only just beginning to have Aqua Aerobics, and so they are, well, quite far behind in the development that we've got here, right?
Right. Not necessarily, though, because now they have access to the same trainings we have access to, because everything is virtual. So that's kind of been a nice shift, and open doors, hopefully, for them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't even thought. I mean, it is interesting to see how, you know, they like, if I think about, like, you know, they're all very focused on, how do I put this? There are so many cultural differences. There are so many things that they have as part of their culture, that I forget that it's not, they have a bit of a cultural barrier when it comes to fitness.
And even swimming, right? Like, in Canada, everyone learns to swim even as part of school.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
As part of school, they go swimming. When I do trainings in India, a lot of these people haven't been in the pool ever, or, you know, by choice for fitness or workout or swimming. And a lot of them, you know, they're not even comfortable in shallow water.
Yeah.
So I think too, even just like, maybe fitness is new, but also even using the pool or having access to a pool is new too. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, there's a very much family thing when it comes to swimming as well. So sometimes if the mum is, wanting the child to be swimming, or the grandma takes the kid to go swimming after school or whatever, that is kind of like part and parcel of what happens in the UK, and very likely to happen in France as well. But I'm guessing that if it hasn't been happening over there, then they will have generations that obviously have never been in the swimming pool. It's going to take one of them to then start the family to actually start wanting to go into the water.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing, right? Bringing more people to the water, or exposing people
Yeah.
to, oh, this would be good for my family, or for us. Or that's why I even give props to people as adults who do swimming lessons, because it can be scary, and it's also like super vulnerable. You don't want to be new at something. You don't want to feel uncomfortable with something. It's harder even later in life to have the courage to come in and start swimming, or to put on a bathing suit and come to an aqua fitness class if you haven't done that your whole life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just like the physiological and the psychological barriers too it's really it's interesting. Whereas we know at the pool, like everyone looks differently. There's everyone's in a bathing suit and we all feel ridiculous, and
No
in France,
one's looking really.
yeah, we have like the tight swimming caps, and we have to wear speedos, and it's fun and ridiculous, but
You guys have those rules. You have stricter rules in France than we have here. I know that you have to, I mean, France and Italy, you have to wear a swimming hat, regardless of whether you're male or female. And even if you're bald, you still have to wear a swimming hat. So there are those different rules. Whereas here in the UK, the rules are more personal if I wanted to wear a swimming hat. So,
right.
There's different rules for everywhere.
Yeah, but I've noticed a lot of the, like in France, I work at a pool here since this summer, and even just the amount of chlorine and chemicals that we use a lot less than we used in the US, where you can wear the same shorts that you wore on the bus, and just jump in, and you shower if you want. There's a shower available, but no one does it.
Yeah,
Everyone just
yeah.
jumps in or whatever. So I noticed that we like just at the pool I work at here compared to the pool where I worked in the US, we use chemicals. And when I'm swimming or when I'm teaching or breathing or outside the water, I can feel the difference. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, maybe maybe they're all for a reason. Maybe they'll pay off.
Yeah. Do you have any outdoor pools in France, or are yours all indoors?
So I'm working at a really beautiful, brand new facility. We have a Nordic pool, which is outside, 25 meters. And we also have a pool inside, which is our Ludic pool. And it's also 25 meters. So we have one in, one out. Oh, it's a newer facility. We're more expensive than the other community pools. But yeah, I mean, it's going to get nice here from even now. Today's 17 degrees. So hopefully we'll get to go back outdoors soon. But yeah, the rest of the seasonal pool, they open usually like July and August for the pure outdoor pools. But yeah, most of them are indoors.
So are you guys getting the rule with COVID that when you are open again, you can use the outdoor pool?
So even now, we were talking about it like with my director, but it just wasn't interesting to open the outdoor pool while maintaining the social distancing, because in 3 lanes, we would only be able to have like 1 person per lane. So it just wasn't worth it, like economically, to be able to be open for 10 people in a 20 pool. But I believe pools are opening outdoors only. So that's promising for the coming months. And maybe, the warmer it gets, then the more, people can wait outside the pool or be around, and we'll see. We're trying to play the game as best we can and wait it out.
Yeah, because we have to have a distance 3 meters square around a person. So yeah, one of my pools, I used to have 50 people in it, and now I can only have 20, 25, and they've got the cones out so that they're, you know, they stand with a cone and they've got the distance apart from them. But that's obviously when I can.
Popsicle stick waiting.
Oh, so when we can all get back to teaching, it will be that kind of distance of people in the pool, but then obviously we can then start bringing more people in, hopefully. I haven't actually asked you, but do you have a piece of equipment that you use, like a noodle or a mitts?
So I was like, just add water and shake is our Aqua Zumba logo. But to teach aqua fitness in France, it's actually like a college equivalent. So I just did a year-long training, which was a big investment of time, a big investment of money, like a college equivalent to do year. And we did 14 different formats, and 2 of those are without equipment, and the other 12 are equipment based.
Oh.
So yeah, a year of how to use equipment, water, basically, from anything to your drag resistance, to buoyancy, to the trampolines. Trampolines are my favorite. That was the question.
So that's incredible. You had to do a year college degree. What?
I did, yeah. For me, it was the shortest route. France, we have what's the title is like maître nageur, which is like master swimmer. So the aqua fitness teachers in France, just to teach a 45-minute Zumba class, you know, once a week, you have to be actually proficient in swimming, and you know, be able to balance the chemicals in the pool, you know the appropriate water temperature and the hygiene for the toilets and bathrooms, and you have to be able to teach and demonstrate butterfly stroke. So it makes it really inaccessible to teach aqua fitness, which in a way is good, because someone who does a weekend training can't take away a job from someone who's studied it and, you know, has a 1 to 4 year degree to do that job.
Wow.
In French, love certifications. French love administration. So I figured out a minimum that I could do to become a lifeguard and have all the safety parts, and then also to be able to bring in the aqua fitness. And it's actually the first year that they offered this training, that you're able to get the qualification without doing the whole, you know, 10,000 euro 4-year kind of certification. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's called Water Form, and it's like kind of the new certifying body in France for just aqua fitness.
Wow. So was that so that you can work? Did they not accept your qualifications that you previously got?
No, the French love the administration process, and that this was kind of a contest, so I did have to study a little bit, and I'm really glad I did, because I learned to use equipment, and I actually fell in love with equipment, which I didn't think I needed, and actually I love equipment now. It's super fun.
So I'm just absolutely like shocked by that, because the amount that you're saying with the like learning about the pool chemicals and the pool plant, like we have in the UK, if I wanted to go and do my pool plant operators, I do that certification. If I want to do my swimming teachers, I do that certification. If I do my aqua, I do that certification. So they're very much in their own brackets. If I'm going to go and do pool plant operators, it's pretty much because I'm going to be managers, or I'm going to be a site manager, or looking after the swimming pool. If I'm going to do swimming teaching, I can cross over, but swimming teacher can be their own just swimming teachers. They can just go down that road and be a coach or whatever. So you did your qualification that you had to go and do in France has all of that in one.
So there's one that has all of that in one, and then there's a new certification that only has the aqua fitness part. So I did the only aqua fitness module.
Okay, but you still had to learn other bits?
So I did because at the pool where I am, they didn't want to hire someone to just do aqua fitness.
Oh,
They wanted someone who could do aqua fitness and also lifeguard and be able to assist with swimming lessons and stuff like that. So I
okay.
had to do just like life-saving one, which
Yeah.
was actually really hard. Usually you just have to like go down, get the brick. These are like 15 meters twice underwater, all this stuff. I was like, I was the only person over 20 years old in my group. So I was like the old man trying to dive down to the bottom and do these things. And yeah, so it was like, and for me, the theory was the hardest because like it's general life saving. So you have to know all of the boating rule, like is fishing allowed between October and May? And if so, can you have an armed vessel or it has to be unarmed? So it was a lot of, for me, French is my second language. So it was a lot of, it was very
Wow.
challenging for me to do theory and actually had to take the exam twice to pass it because it was very detailed.
Oh, just sounds incredible. I mean, and especially doing it in a second language. I'm so,
It was very
I'm so
humbling because
impressed.
I was showing up to these trainings saying, okay, these guys learned how to do this a year ago. I've been doing this for 15 years. My ego is like, I could be teaching this, I could be running the show, and then I'm failing at it. Like I had to really learn. And actually, for the Aqua Fitness exam, it was tirage au sort. So we had the 14 formats in the bucket, and we had to pull one out of the hat. And
Oh,
I was going like aqua fitness, no equipment, aqua fitness, no equipment, and I got cardio box, right? Cardio box is fine, but I was doing my cardio box with my Dua, my Fallout Boy. Like I thought I was pretty badass, but they were like, no, we were looking for like Eminem and like Marilyn Manson, and we want like my two examiners on the jury were like ex-military, so they were like so I almost didn't even pass my aqua fitness exam because I was not fierce enough in aqua boxing. So it was intense. It was good. I mean, I'm happy to have it, but it was very humbling. It was very humbling to be a student and to be the worst student because the more you know, the more you realize you don't know, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. And that, yes, it is such a true statement. The more you get to know, the more you actually realize you don't know. But with the equipment, you said you had to do 12 segments, or was there less segments? So what pieces of
Well,
equipment?
I'll have to get the manual. Yeah, you had the boxing gloves, the buoyant like dumbbells, noodles, the bikes, hydro
Yeah.
rider, the trampolines, which I loved. And then they have the company who put out who's put forth the training. They have their signature equipment, which basically is like the milk jugs that go underwater. They also have like a kind of like a body bar with the red handles on the side that makes like the drag for like a more of a muscular toning based class. And then I guess the others I've blocked out of my memory for now. But the most memorable classes that I did was with Sylvia Sonati when she was just one dumb. I don't know if you were there for that. It was like one of those conventions. It might have been in Italy, but she like just one dumbbell and like everything was with one dumbbell and coordination. And it was one of the hardest classes I've ever done. And I was like, wow, I'm never gonna know those foam dumbbells again because they're great. So it all comes down to the student experience and not what you use, but more so how you use it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And Sylvia Sonati is one of the best out there. She's awesome.
Yeah, she could take like this marker and make it into a resisted train
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, equipment's a funny thing because obviously lots of leisure centres don't get them, and they do like the classes where, for example, it is like Aqua Zumba, where they don't have to pay for any equipment, but they have a full class that's fun and people want to attend. So equipment's a funny thing because there is quite a lot out there. I had hoped that we'd quite progressed from using milk bottles and stuff.
Well,
But
actually, in Europe, like in the US, it's more milk jugs and noodles, you know, nothing that costs more than $1 or $2. But in Europe, I've noticed like when people are signing up for a class, they're like, what equipment do you use? You know, like, oh, you're doing Aqua Zumba? Like what do I need to buy? Or, you know, what are we going to use? What can I grab? Like, do I need gloves? Do I need this? Do I need that? People love, especially in Europe, it's like, okay, what class is it? What kind of equipment are we going to use? And I think it comes from being a little bit more progressive in aqua fitness and knowing that there's more than just, you know,
yeah.
AFAA on Monday and
Do you
ABC on
think,
Tuesday.
yeah, do you think that they've got a more of a forward thinking with it then? Do you think that they're more open to aqua aerobics?
What I see in the US, based on my clients, from when I taught in Canada or even when I was teaching in Miami, my clients in America seem to be coming because their doctor, or they made the decision themselves, decided that land-based exercise is not for them.
Okay.
So the majority of my North American clients seem to use aqua fitness as the alternative to land.
Right.
I can't do anything else, I'm going to do aqua. Whereas in Europe, it's more of the priority, like, oh, I want to go to the pool because the instructor has a great playlist, because we use the bike, because it's a great workout. They're not comparing it to land, and it's the thing. So I think in Europe, you know, using more equipment and being more open to it, it seems to be a little bit more mainstream. But I think the US, like I know some instructors who are super progressive, who are catching right up, and, you know, they have, you know, from 9 to 99 or 109 years old in their class, and they're getting great workouts and they're using equipment. So it's definitely, you know, the times are changing, and I think things have shifted, and people are definitely more open-minded and not just using that alternative pool exercises, but using it as the thing.
The thing, yeah, yeah, love it, love it. So, what would you give as a piece of advice for a new instructor?
Ooh. So I always say to my students, if they're coming from the land world, that aqua, it is like, it's community, right? If you have a big facility, like with a gym and a pool, you know, you might have thousands of people who pay a membership to that facility.
Yeah.
But it always seems like it's the same 20, 30 people in the pool at any given time. So it's just a smaller, like, different clientele in a different little world. And aqua people aren't necessarily like land people where they might just sneak out of your class if they don't like it. Aqua people will help the community to grow and develop. So they might not fill out a comment card and give it to your, you know, supervisor. They're going to tell you right away, like, the water's too cold, or
yes,
the music's too loud, or the move is too fast. Like, they have no filter, and they're going to tell you because they want the community to benefit from their class, and they want to help you grow. So I think sometimes we feel like a little bit like dancing monkey, or a little bit like just face to something we're uncomfortable with. But I think the best way to teach and to really learn aqua is to get in the water, feel it, but also to be present and be there for the classes. It's very hard to study it. It's very hard to learn from behind a screen. It's very hard to you know, practice it without being in that real world environment. Yeah. So I think don't be afraid of those people who are trying to help you grow, but to keep, you know, learning, keep getting in the water, keep doing classes, and keep teaching face to real people. And that's the best way to learn and to grow as an aqua fitness instructor.
Yeah.
And we need you. We need more aqua fitness instructors. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
We definitely do. There is definitely a need for more aqua instructors. Our classes are busy and they're very full, and we just need more people to be up on poolside teaching it. But yeah, it is a fantastic way of explaining it. They are definitely straight up. They will tell you exactly how it is. Some might be a little bit more fierce in how they say things, but but otherwise they are there. They are there just trying to get the best class they can. And they will defend you as well till the nth degree. If there's anything wrong and the leisure centre's doing something bad, they will go straight up to the manager and defend you.
Agreed. And also very generous. Like sometimes, like I have gotten Starbucks cards. When I was in university, my ladies like got money together to buy me a microwave.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, they're good people. I'm sure land people are like that too, but I notice it more with something about those aqua people.
Yeah, they're kind of nurturing in a way as well. They're very nurturing. My older ladies are definitely, you know, they can sense if that kind of, are you okay, dear? You know, do you want to come and have a cup of coffee? And they are very much looking after you as an instructor. Oh, I miss them.
Countdown is on.
Yeah, countdown.
And that's my friends my friends in markets where it has opened up again. The feedback we're getting is like that there's never been more people, or people who took a break and now coming back, they're coming back and they're so happy and so appreciative to have it back. So I think the overall feedback too is like it's gonna come back eventually to Europe and UK. And when it does, we got to be ready for it, because it's not going to be little by little. It's going to everyone back, and the gyms are never going to be easier, and the pools are never going to be fuller.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we had a spell of about 6 to 8 weeks where we were back open around September, October time last year, and one of the things that came from that, talking to instructors, land, water, etc., was that the water classes were fully booked straight away as soon as the timetable opened, but the land classes slowly trickled their numbers to build up, whereas with the pool, instantly full.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now,
I don't know if you had a period, you had like a 2-week like layover too, where like pools were still open but gyms were closed. We're like, it didn't last long, but it was like a 2-week window.
Oh, we didn't have that, so you guys were lucky in having that. Definitely. So Linda ends with a question about retirement, but obviously we're not going to retire, and if we are, we're a long way off that. But when you do retire, what would you like to be remembered for? You're going to be remembered for your Aqua Zumba. You're going to be remembered for your cheeky smile and your energetic classes. But what would you like to be remembered for?
I hope that people say like, wow, you were the one who made me feel like I could do it.
Yes, that's great.
But that's it, making it simple, making it accessible, and making it inspiring people to say, wow, that instructor made me feel like this, so I want to make my students, or I want to make other people feel like that too. So I hope that they remember me for that, you know.
I think so. Yeah, and you definitely spread the word of Aqua Zumba around the world. I mean, you know, just the fact of going France, America, Asia, and around the world doing that, you've definitely got the Aqua Zumba world talking.
I hope so.
Well, it's been lovely having this chat with you, and I feel like I've learned so much, and if I'm going to move to France, I need your advice on how to do that qualification, but that's not anytime soon. But I wish...
Anytime. Love to have you.
Yeah, I wish you lots of luck when you do start opening back up to teaching your classes.
Same to you.
Thanks.
We'll see. We'll be in a race. I'll be checking in April to see if you're back before me.